up, guys? It's your boy, Barca Boy 103, and today we're going to be reacting to the Barcelona news over the past week or so. It's been a long time. Of course, we've had games week in, week out. There's been no time, and now we have a little bit of a break between Inter and Celta Vigo. We've got the time now to discuss some news. There's been a lot. Of course, Messi return. We have an update on that. Barcelona summer transfer targets. Gaya, Zubimendi being the main ones, but also Dalot and Neves as backup options. We have some updates about Endrick. We apparently now sold Antoine Griezmann to Atletico Madrid. That is now a done deal. We have the updates on that. Contract renewal updates on Dembele, Balde, Memphis, Arnau Tenas, and Inaki Pena. We're going to highlight the work of Mateu Alemany over the past 6 months, the revenue we expect from the Spotify camp now, Jordi, Alba, and Pique future updates, and also some huge injury updates on Araujo, Kounde, Christensen, and even Franck Kessié. But before we get into it, make sure you guys smash that like button down below. Let's try to get to 300 likes in this video. Be very much appreciated. Also, if you're new, make sure you subscribe down below if you haven't already, and let's get into it. Now, before we get into the video, this video is sponsored by Number One Foot. Number One Foot is one of the best replica football jersey websites on the market. They have fantastic qualities at fantastic prices. I ordered some the other day, and I got the treble winning jersey for Barcelona in the 14-15 season. The quality is absolutely unreal at a fantastic price. Look at the badge on the jersey. It is fantastic. You have the Nike logo as well, looking brilliant. It has the right tags, the right size, the right material, and it's at a fantastic price. And on their website, they do have the new Barcelona kit for this season with the Spotify logo. You can pick what badge you want on the sleeve, La Liga, Champions League. You can pick whatever number you want, whatever name you want in the back as well. And again, the material is absolutely unreal. Here I have the 2007 Champions League kit for Barcelona. As you can see, it has the UNICEF logo, the Nike, the Barcelona badge with the Camp Nou name around it. And if you use the discount code BOY at checkout, you do get 15% off your final order. That is BOY. Use it at checkout, 15% off, and all orders over $80 get free shipping as well. So go down below, top link in the description, and get your new football kit today. Let's start off with the transfer news over the past week or so. Now, the first players that we have been linked with is one of the priorities for Barcelona this summer, and that is fullback reinforcements. Now, firstly, on left hand side, despite the fact that Barcelona still have 3 left backs, we are being linked with one left back who, of course, is my dream signing in the left back position, and that is Jose Gaya. Now, Sport have come out saying that Barcelona aim to incorporate Jose Gaya for free when his contract expires in 2023, of course, this upcoming summer, but talks between the player and Valencia over renewal are progressing well, and the agreement could be sealed in the coming weeks. And then also Gattuso, who of course is the manager of Valencia, he was asked in his latest press conference about Gaya's renewal. He came out saying, "I think that Gaya will accept our proposal and sign a new deal soon." So looking unlikely we'll get him on a free deal, although I think it would be one of the steals of the century. But again, nothing is signed right now. We've been hearing that guy has been in advanced negotiations with Valencia for months now. I think back in March we're hearing it was advanced. Until now, nothing is signed. So until anything is signed, I think it's fair game. If you look at maybe getting rid of Jordi Alba, then maybe not extending Alonso's contract, you bring Jose Gaya in on a free transfer. I think it could be one of the top free deals you'll ever see in your life. It will be that good in my opinion, but most likely at the current moment, of course, he will renew his contract at Valencia. But keep your eyes on the situation, of course, if he doesn't end up renewing his contract. The main priority for the fullback position, of course, is going to be that right-hand side for Barcelona. And the only real concrete links that we have with another right back is Diogo Dalot from Manchester United. Gabriel Sanz from Deportivo came out saying that Barcelona and 4 other clubs are monitoring Diogo Dalot's situation at United. Barcelona scouted him during his matches in the UEFA Nations League for Portugal, but no offer has been made yet, of course, and Dalot is out of contract this summer, of course, in 2023, but Man United have the option to extend it without his consent until 2024. Again, United always have these clauses in their player's contract, the option to extend it for a further year without the player's consent. So when Man United push the button, it's go time. His contract gets renewed by 1 year, and Dalot cannot do anything about it. Most likely, 99%, that will happen. So of course, this summer will be the last time United can get any sort of good fee for Dalot. Look, I think, just like I said last summer about Hector Bellerin, I think Dalot is a good option to come in if he's number 2. If he's the main star, main priority, right now, I think it's not the best option. I think he can grow into it, of course. That's why I would take him as a number 2. But as a number 1, I don't think he's quite there yet. And again, the only concrete rumors that we had for Barcelona signing right backs, which of course we desperately need, is Diogo, Dalot, and of course Venderson. Other than that, there's been nothing. Of course, we've been hearing that Barcelona are going to spend not all, but the majority of their transfer budget on a fullback. They want to get the best right back they can on the market. You're looking at it on paper, it's probably Trent Alexander-Arnold, but although defensively he's absolutely suspect beyond belief. So again, this is another situation where Barcelona want a player in a certain position, but there's no real target to go for. So now the question really is, who will Barcelona really prioritize in that right back position? We'll have to wait and see. Now, along with fullbacks, whether it's on the right hand side or the left hand side, probably right hand side, another priority for Barcelona this upcoming summer will be to sign a pivot, of course a CDM in the midfield, if Busquets does leave the club. 95% he will do so, but again, there's still that 5% question mark. But the club right now are scouting for new pivots, and one of the names on the table is Ruben Neves. Sport came out saying that Ruben Neves received offers from Manchester United and Liverpool during the last transfer window, but when he heard that Barcelona were interested, he decided to reject the offers that he had received. Ruben Neves is waiting for Barcelona to sign for them in 2023. Now, if I'm not mistaken, Ruben Neves' contract expires in 2024 or 2025. Definitely will not be a free agent this summer. I think he'll have 1 or 2 years left on his deal. But again, he will be pushing for that move, that exit, should you say, from Wolves. He's been pushing now for the last 2 summers. He didn't leave last summer because he wanted to wait for the chance to sign for Barcelona. Although it is definitely on the table, I don't see it as clear as the main target, who of course is Martin Zubimendi. Now, with Zubimendi right now, we are hearing that he will renew his contract with Real Sociedad. He came out last weekend after Sociedad beat Girona 5-3. Great game, by the way. I think Zubimendi actually scored in that game. He came out saying that, look, I'm loving life in Sociedad and I want to renew my contract. So the reports are saying right now, I think coming in from Candacer Sport Mundo Deportivo, saying that, look, he's very close to renewing his contract, but there is good news for Barcelona. His release clause of 60 million euros will stay the same. So that means theoretically his value will not change too much. That for me tells me saying that, look, he wants to secure his future at Sociedad, although he is eyeing that move to Barcelona. I think of course he's the most likely ideal replacement for the club. Xavi likes him, he thinks he's the right player, and of course he's been linked with Zubimendi for a long time. Although Ruben Neves, you could say, is the big name player to come in, I don't really see him as a pivot. I see him more as, dare I say it, a Frankie de Jong, a player who can play in that position, but more so a box-to-box. Although at Wolves, they do play a 5-3-2 or 3-5-2, however you want to call it. So he does go forward a lot. He does actually hold the midfield a lot as well. But a Barcelona CDM, I don't see it as clear with Ruben Neves as I see with Zubimendi. So keep your eyes on Zubimendi. He'll definitely be a target for Barcelona. If we do spend the majority of our budget on our right back, then maybe his signing will be difficult. But if we spend fairly on a right back, we still have some money left over. I'll keep your eyes on Zubimendi. And also another midfield target as well for Barcelona, who've been linked with now, I think, for the past year. Of course, it is the next Pedri. It is Alberto Moleiro. Gabriel Sanz Mundo Deportivo came out saying that Barcelona will have to hurry up if they want to sign Moleiro. Barcelona want to sign the youngster from Las Palmas in the summer, but now other clubs will most likely push for him in January. His release cost right now is set at 30 million euros, but if Las Palmas gets promoted, it will rise to 60. Now, of course, the Las Palmas coach at the moment is the former Barcelona B manager, Garcia Pimienta, and so far, I think the last time I checked, Las Palmas were sitting top of their league. Of course, they get promoted to La Liga. They're currently the Segunda Division. Again, this Alberto Moleiro is being touted as the next Pedri. Same club, same style of player. Do we really need to spend 30 million? Look, I get it. He's a top talent. I understand that. But you've already spent, a certain amount of money on Pablo Torre. You have Pedri. You have Gavi. You have Frankie de Jong. I mean, we can't sign every youngster in the world, right? That's all I'm saying, right? I get it. If you want to go for him, sure, I'm all for it. Let's see how he does. I understand that, but you can't be going out and buying every single midfield talent on the market, right? There's still other positions that we have to prioritize, and we're already pretty sorted in the midfield. If Pablo Torre flops, different story, we'll wait and see on this one. I think it's very, very delicate. They spent, of course, 30 million euros on a player that we don't know about, but then again, we spent, I think, what, 15 or 20 on Pedri, including variables. So sometimes it works out, and sometimes you gotta take the risk and wait and see. So keep your eyes on Morelos. He's definitely a target for Barcelona in the upcoming transfer windows. Now, along with Alberto Moleiro, another youngster who Barcelona could be bidding for in January is, of course, Endrick, who I've been talking about a lot on the channel recently in the news videos. He's the next big talent coming out of Brazil, and there are reports coming in from Brazil saying that Barcelona are preparing a big offer in January for Endrick or the other youngster on the wing as well, Victor Roque. Deco will be conducting the negotiations. Of course, Deco is an expert in the Brazilian market. He brought us Rafinha in the summer. He's also offered us Venderson, Chao Enrique, both I think full backs for Monaco. So he'll be helping us in the negotiations, of course. Now, you go back, look at Alberto Morelos coming in. We still need a midfielder. We need fullbacks. We'll talk about Messi in the next few seconds as well. Barcelona have been linked with a lot of players very heavily, and players that, would be a great addition to the squad. The question is, do we have the money really, and do we have the squad space? You're thinking, bringing in Endrick as a forward. Of course, we cannot sign him until 2024. Let's make that clear. He has to be 18 to move to Europe. He's not 18 yet. I think he's 16 or 17, which of course is ridiculously young to spend, over 30 million euros for. Apparently, we're going to bid around 30, 40 million. I think his release clause is 60, so it's big money for a 16, 17-year-old. But again, we missed out on Vinicius. We missed out on Rodrigo, missed out on all the other Brazilian talents over the last few years. The last one we got was Neymar, so the club really don't want to miss this boat. Again, back to the forward position, you do have, Lewandowski, you have Memphis, who of course his contract expires, you have Dembele, you have Rafinha, Ansu Ferran. Endrick, even in 2 years, I don't think would fit in that front six if it stays the way it stays. So I think the club have to be very wary with how they spend their money. And again, like I said with Morelos, not getting every single youngster that you can get. But I think Endrick is something special. Although, to be fair to Morelos, I haven't seen him that much. He could be the next Pedri. Wouldn't surprise me. But with Endrick, he is the real deal. So again, we'll wait and see what the club do, but again, we are planning a few January bids for some youngsters. Now, a forward who Barcelona actually want to sign this summer, of course, as a free agent, is the return of the greatest human being to touch a football, Lionel Andres Messi. Now, 2 days ago on Tuesday, I did upload a video saying that Barcelona have now started negotiations with Messi, as reported from the best Argentinian reporter, and that his return in 2023 is very likely. Since that video, every single journalist you can think of have not denied it, but said that Messi's not thinking about it. Fabrizio Romano, Romero, Martinez, Nina Cordes, Candacer, Cobb, Mundo Deportivo, everyone, even other Argentinian reporters from TYC Sports as well. Everyone's saying, look, Messi is not thinking about it until after the World Cup. Yes, you could say, the offer is there. I think the offer for PSG is 100% on the table. The 1-year renewal with the 1-year option. Barcelona one is questionable, but Messi will not think about his future until after the World Cup. We're also hearing that apparently Joan Laporta and Messi have spoken. They've, Laporta explained to him the situation that happened last summer. He apologized, said that he wants to, rectify his mistake, all that sort of stuff. So we'll wait and see with Messi. Look, like I said in the video the other day, I'll say it again, nothing's gonna happen until January. But once January hits, the storm will be huge. It'll be Messi, of course, coming either. It'll be Barcelona versus PSG for the signing of Messi. I don't think that Messi will go to MLS. We are hearing now that Luis Suarez will sign for the LA Galaxy after the World Cup. Now, of course, if Messi was going to go to the MLS, would have been into Miami, David Beckham's team, and be link up there with Busquets and Suarez, have a little Barcelona reunion there. But Suarez is going to LA Galaxy. I don't think that move will happen now. I think Messi sees himself retiring in Europe. Question now is really for which team. I think with the nostalgia, and I think the two very key factors for Messi coming back is firstly his family, how much they miss Barcelona, and secondly Xavi. Messi and Xavi are still very, very close friends. I've been told they talk on a regular basis, not every single day, what's up bro, like a couple times, like once at least a month or once a week. Like they always keep in contact. So I think with that Xavi connection, the nostalgia of coming back home, I think I'd put it right now 51% Barcelona, 49% PSG. If PSG don't win the Champions League again, I think that will increase Barcelona's chances. But if PSG win the Champions League, I think it might be finished. So we'll wait and see. Again, I'm not going to think about it. Let's not talk about it until the penultimate moment, which of course is after the World Cup. Let's now discuss the players who have been rumored to leave Barcelona over the past 24 hours. First up is an actual sale. That's right, we are beginning of October and we've sold a player, and it is of course Antoine Griezmann. The case that has been going now for a few months will be resolved. There's no court case. Barcelona and Atletico Madrid have reached an agreement. Now the news broke in from Relevo, so credit to them. They came out saying that Barcelona and Atletico Madrid will soon sign an agreement for the transfer of Antoine Griezmann to Atletico Madrid on a permanent basis for 20 million euros. Plus 2 million euros in variables. Very complicated negotiation. The relationship between Barcelona and Atletico Madrid became non-existent at some points. Wow. Then Sport came out confirming this as well, so that Atletico Madrid and Barcelona have reached an agreement in principle for the transfer of Antoine Griezmann to Atletico Madrid for 20 million euros plus variables. As of now, still nothing official or signed. It's expected that in the next few days it can be announced. And also Fabrizio Romano came out confirming it. Now everyone is saying 20 million euros fixed fee, 100%. Romano, L'Equipe, everyone. The variables is where the question marks come in. Some people are saying 5, some people are saying 2, some people are saying 10. I've seen 10, so I'll analyze the fee once it's official. But on the situation, look, I don't think Griezmann was a flop at Barcelona. Hate me or not, disagree with me, let me know in the comments. I don't think Griezmann was a flop at Barcelona. I think he performed under expectation, but it's not a flop. He's not Andre Gomes, he's not Coutinho, he's not, what's not a flop? Malcolm, he's not that level for me. He had a very good season, I think, under Koeman in that final year that he played in. First one under, of course, Valverde at the end, coronavirus, adapting, so it's understandable. I think the fee is shocking. We had an agreement with Atletico for 40. We've now chopped the price in half, not to go in court and to keep that relationship somewhat there with Atletico Madrid. I think Atletico Madrid are definitely the winners in this operation. Of course, we bought him for 120 million euros. We paid Atletico Madrid 20 million euros to shut up and not sue us, because of course we talked to Griezmann behind their backs. We made it seem like we had a what's it called? Right for first refusal for Koke, Saul, and Jimenez, but in reality, we should give them 20 million euros to shut up. And then now we're selling him for 20 million euros, so we're having paying net 100 million euros for Griezmann. You could say 120 plus his wages as well. So money wise, we got, dare I say it, by Atletico Madrid. And that's the reality. We're gonna have to hold that L. Of course, it wasn't Joan Laporta's fault. It was, of course, a fault of that Bartomeu. So it is what it is. Like, I'm just happy now the situation is solved. We don't have to worry about Griezmann playing 60 minutes for Atletico Madrid or not for the whole entire season. Again, I'm hoping Barcelona do have a high variable fee. I'm hoping that we do have 10. If we have 20 plus 10, I'll be okay with that. That for me will be satisfying. But if we can do 20 plus 2 or 20 plus 5, it's a bit dead in my opinion. But you know what? It is what it is. More money coming in from Barcelona that now we can spend on, Endrick, Alberto Moleiro, Zubimendi, fullbacks, whoever it may be. So money is money for Barcelona nowadays. We are pretty desperate, but... And again, the reason why Barcelona did this is because they were scared that Griezmann would come back with his wages. Of course, his wages are like, 16 million per year right now. He is taking another cut with this transfer to sign permanently for Atletico Madrid. But if he did came back from his loan move, 16 million euros net. That's like what? 30 million gross? Just thinking about that makes me myself. So, you know what? It is what it is, unfortunately, and I will talk about it more in depth once the news is official, which we are expecting in the next few days. The money will probably come in January, not right now. And again, the two clubs want this matter to be resolved before January the 7th or the 8th when we face Atletico Madrid in the La Liga. So in reality, everyone is content. You can't say happy. I think Atletico Madrid are very happy. I think Barcelona are like, you know what? It is what it is. We'll hold the L. But again, once this news become official, I will do a separate video on the situation. But it looks like Griezmann is set to join Atletico Madrid on a permanent basis. Now, along with Antoine Griezmann, another Barcelona player who was also rumored to join Atletico Madrid this January, even this summer, was of course Gerard Pique. This happened, I think, near the end of the international break, and it was shut down by every single outlet, kind of mainly from Sport. They came out saying that despite rumors, there is no chance that Gerard Pique will join Atletico Madrid. Like I said at the time, I can't see it happening. I think Pique will either retire Barcelona or continue on playing. Of course, right now he's one of 2 fit center backs for the club, so he will be getting a lot of minutes for the rest of this month. Let's hope he can go out there and perform. But again, We'll talk about Pique's future near the end of the video, but it ain't looking too good. And the same also for Jordi Alba. Sport came out saying that Jordi Alba's contract ends in 2024. However, the club wants to end the commitment sooner due to his salary and because he's lost promise in the team. I think Jordi Alba currently is sat on 200,000 euros per week as a bench player. It's not feasible financially for the club, and also he's getting on as well. I think the club do want him to leave this summer alongside Pique, Busquets, and maybe even Roberto. It's still crazy to think that all four captains, literally, there is a very high chance all four of them could leave, which is freaking mad in my opinion. But yeah, with Jordi Alba, unless he picks up something in the next few months during the season for Barcelona, if he doesn't get called up to the Spain national team, blah blah blah, a lot of complications for Jordi Alba. I think the reality is this season Xavi will use him. The question now really, how much will he use him? Let's now discuss some contract renewal updates around the first team at Barcelona. We do have an update on every single player who needs their contract situation to be addressed, and we have some big updates. We're going to go in order, of course. First up is Ousmane Dembele. Ben Aid, by the way, he signed with Mundo Deportivo, so congrats to him. Of course, he was being Sports, then Individual, and now he just signed from Mundo Deportivo, which I think is crazy, so congrats to him. So Ben Aid from Mundo Deportivo came out saying that Barcelona want to extend Ousmane Dembele's contract, which ends in 2024. Joan Laporta himself wants to resolve this issue as soon as possible. Look, Laporta is not stupid. He'll make a mistake once, but he won't make it again. We've seen that now with Messi. Same thing with Ousmane Dembele. I think Laporta, before the summer transfer window hits, wants a decision from Ousmane to renew or to not renew. Fernando Porta from Deportivo came out saying that Barcelona do in fact want to renew Ousmane Dembele's contract, which ends in 2024, until at least 2026 as soon as possible. Negotiations have not started yet, but Dembele knows that Barcelona count on him for the long term, and he wants to also stay beyond 2024. So again, literally the same things we heard last year. It's, basically on repeat. The question now is, will anything be different? We are still hearing that his agent, Moussa Sissoko, wants him to leave for a big sign-on bonus and for a fat contract. So, again, we're still very early stages. I think hopefully it will not be a replay of last year. We'll get something more concrete more quickly, I'm hoping. Again, I think hopefully by the end of this season, we have an answer on Ousmane, whether he'll stay or not. Hell, he could even sign that contract. Now, on his release clause, I'm seeing a lot of rumors saying that, Dembele has a 50 million euro release clause and he gets the full 50 million if someone activates it. No, that is incorrect. Dembele has a 100 million euro release clause, and if someone activated it, apparently he gets 50%. So he gets 50 million, the club get 50. So that is still in question, but what's guaranteed that Ousmane Dembele does have a 100 million euro release clause, not 50. I think it was 50. Someone would have activated it by now. Honest to God, he is that good. Of course, the value for the player. So wait and see on Ousmane. The club again don't want to mess up again. They want to get this situation sorted out as soon as possible, and they are beginning, not talks with Dembele's entourage, but again, getting that thought around him in the media, maybe crunching some numbers here and there. So we'll wait and see, but I don't expect any developments until probably after the World Cup. Another key player for Barcelona who needs a contract renewal is, of course, Alejandro Balde. Now, Luis Rojo from Marca came out saying that Barcelona's intention is to extend Alejandro Balde's contract, which ends on June the 30th, 2024. There have already been contacts between the parties, but for now, they are stopped as there is no rush. The club believes that there is still time to renew his contract. Of course, it expires not this summer, but next summer. The talks have begun, and they hope to resume them in a few months. Barcelona really don't want to lose Alejandro Balde, and then Sport came out confirming the news, saying that first contacts between Alejandro Balde's agent Jorge Mendes and Barcelona to renew his contract beyond 2024 have taken place, but not intensified. Barcelona want to close his renewal before the end of this season. So again, Alejandro Balde and Ousmane Dembele on the same boat. The club wants something very concrete with their renewals before the season ends. Again, probably we're expecting around February time, definitely after the World Cup, in my opinion. Now, two other renewals that are still very important for Barcelona, but not as important, let's be honest, as Balde and Ousmane Dembele, is the renewal of the two goalkeepers in Inaki Pena and Arnau Tenas. Sport came out saying that Barcelona are already working on closing Inaki Pena's renewal. It's on track, and he will have a first team number, of course, come January. With Arnau Tenas, the club can activate a unilaterally clause to extend his contract for 2 additional years. So we talked about Dalot from before, how they can automatically renew him. Barcelona can do the same with Arnau Tenas. They really don't need negotiations there. You just activate that clause, give him all the conditions that are set, and then you move on. Now, we do have some more updates on Inaki Pena coming from Mateu Marito. He's come out saying that Galatasaray want Inaki Pena to replace Muslera, who will leave at the end of the season. Of course, Inaki's contract ends in 2023, and so far there is no official renewal offer on the table from Barcelona, but the club's idea is to talk about it very, very soon. So Galatasaray, of course, he was there last season on loan. The coach, I think Dominic Soriano, something like that, really loves Inaki Pena. Of course, when he was out there on loan last season, he played very well, and with their star goalkeeper Muslera leaving at the end of the season, they want Inaki Pena to come in on a free deal and replace him. So there is some competition for Inaki Pena. I think, look, as a number 2, he's fantastic, and again, he will grow in that position. He'll train with Ter Stegen, train with the goalkeeper coach De La Fuente, and of course, he will grow in that role. With Ter Stegen not really getting injured too much during a season, he won't get him any chances, but of course that injury comes in for Ter Stegen, God forbid, he'll get his chance, he'll get his opportunity. So wait and see on Inaki Pena, but again, not really a priority for Barcelona, but definitely in the thoughts of the club's head. And finally for me, the really big surprise in terms of renewal is the renewal of Memphis Depay. Now, Sport have come out saying that the club is considering renewing Depay's contract. The coaching staff are delighted with his versatility and his professionalism over the past few months. Now, when I saw this, I'm thinking, where's Messi gonna fit? I mean, if you want to bring back Messi, Depay's gotta walk. Of course, Depay has agreed to terminate his contract in the summer, so I'm thinking he's leaving for free. No fusses. All right, thanks for helping us during our toughest time in our history. Shout out to you, low-key legend. Enjoy the rest of your career on a free transfer. You get that sign-on bonus, all that sort of stuff. But now apparently we want to renew him. For me, I don't really see this. I don't really see it that clearly. Of course, if Messi does not come in, I think we should consider it for sure. I think Depay off the bench, squad role player is absolutely fantastic. Of course, with his injury right now, we are kind of missing him. I would love to have him in the team. Again, when he was in the team, we weren't really grateful. Then when he gets injured, you kind of realize that you'd be grateful for him. So we'll wait and see with Memphis. I think, again, not too clear. I think out of all the renewals we talked about, they're all way more likely than Memphis. I really, with the current condition that Memphis is in, as a a bench player, a role player, let's be honest, I can't see him renewing. He's probably thinking, look, I can earn more money at Juventus and be a starter. I can earn more money at Napoli and be a starter. I can earn more money at United and be closer to the starting lineup that I am at Barcelona if Messi comes back, let's say, for example. So wait and see with Memphis. I don't see it as clear as the others, but again, the club are considering to renew his contract despite the confrontation over the past few months. Let's now discuss some injury updates around the first team at Barcelona. First, an update on the 2 players who were injured during the international break, Ronald Araujo and Jules Kounde. So we do have 2 positive updates. Firstly, on Araujo, coming in from Candacer, they came out saying that after the operation, Araujo's environment say that it is impossible to say that without certainty whether or not he will make it to the World Cup. He had surgery with his career in mind and not the World Cup, and was given a 2 to 3 month time off. Now again, we're hearing this a lot that, if Araujo really tries, really pushes, and everything goes well, he can make the World Cup. Look, there's no way he can recover from surgery in a month. Yeah, I get it. Some Eibar player did it, or not Eibar, some Elche player did it. Whoop-de-frickin-do. This is Barcelona. I don't see the need. If Uruguay had a chance of winning the World Cup, okay, makes sense. No problem whatsoever. If this is like, let's say, for example, he's playing for France. Okay, makes sense. You won that World Cup medal. Umtiti did it. Don't blame you, to be honest. Uruguay have no chance of winning the World Cup. Even with miracles, I can't see them winning it. So, for me, it makes no sense. You'll have so many more World Cups in the future, at least 3 or 4. You'll have your moments there. I say now, fully recover so you can come back stronger for those World Cups. But we'll wait and see. I think, again, no risk will be taken. But again, the risk being taken, there's still a chance that is possible. But some very, very good news on the injury update of Jules Kounde. Having Miguel from AES came out saying that Jules Kounde is accelerating his recovery and having very good feelings. He already trained on the field for the past few training sessions, but no risk will be taken. The objective for him is to be 100% ready for the Clásico on the 16th and be in perfect condition. And also, Jordi Romero came out confirming this as well and saying there are very good feelings with Jules Kounde's recovery so far. I think he had, once the injury was confirmed, he was already training with Barcelona on the pitch, doing a few sessions with them, which I think was absolutely fantastic. But again, like with every single other player, no rushing. When he's 200%, you bring him in. I don't care if he makes the Clasico or not. I want him fully fit, 100%, ready to go, and of course, fight for that Blaugrana colors. Of course, he's probably keeping his eye on the World Cup, I think. But for Barcelona, I think if we can get him back for the Clasico, of course, it would be huge. I think the game before the Clasico is Inter midweek. So if we can get him midweek, I think that would be perfect. Just have him on the bench, bring him on for a few minutes. But I think even if he is fit for the Clasico, I cannot see him starting whatsoever. So we'll see with Jules Kounde, but so far his recovery is going at a fantastic pace. But unfortunately, we do have two negative stories surrounding injury updates for Barcelona, which of course both took place during the Inter Milan match. Firstly, Andreas Christensen, the club did confirm yesterday that he does have a sprained left ankle, and he will be out for a considerable amount of time. We are hanging right now between 2 and 4 weeks. And also Miguel from AS came out saying that Andreas Christensen's injury is worse than first expected. The player has suffered a grade 2 sprain that could keep him out on the pitch for up to a month in the worst case scenario. So worst case, we won't see him until after the World Cup. Best case though, I think we're looking at 2 to 3 weeks. So he could be back for those final few games before the World Cup. I think Victoria Pleasant, and I can't remember the other two in La Liga. So it's a massive blow. We need him for Inter, we need him for Bayern, we need him for Clasico. He's going to miss those 3 games 100%. No shadow of a doubt about that. I think if he's back before the World Cup, it's a plus. It's a big blow for Barcelona. We need center backs. Now we went from having 5, we had too many, blah, blah, blah. Pique is going to leave, blah, 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 all this stuff. Now I've only got 2 fully fit center backs. Expect Frankie de Jong to play a center back when he's fit. I can guarantee you that. You could maybe even see some other players as well. Maybe Roberto, Alonso, something like that. But Xavi will have to get very creative in that center back position, as we do have another big blow alongside Araujo and Kounde, and that is also Christensen. And to make matters worse for Barcelona, we have suffered another injury, man. When I saw this, I couldn't believe my eyes. Of course, Kessié did play around 10 minutes against Inter Milan, looked fine, had no problems, and then in the morning, Barcelona released a statement saying that Franck Kessié has a sprained abductor muscle in his right thigh. I'm thinking, what the fuck is going on here? Apparently, he got injured in the morning recovery session after the match. I'm thinking, oh my god, I was in class and I was fuming. I'm like, oh, this news came out like 10 minutes after we heard the news about Christensen possibly being out for a month and a big blow. He'll be out for Clasico, all that sort of stuff. I'm thinking, holy crap, another one. But again, the positive side of this is that it's not a serious injury. Miguel from AS came out saying that Kessié is a doubt for the Inter Milan match next week. He will be out for around 7 to 10 days. So he's probably eyeing a return in the Clasico. But again, against Celta Vigo this weekend, you kind of want to play him, rotation, possibly an option as a center back. Again, we're already very, very thin in that position. Into return like at the Camp Nou, I think either no chance, in my opinion, he plays that game. I think most likely he will return in the Clasico. He'll probably be on the bench. He ain't gonna start, let's be honest. But again, a massive blow for options off the bench for a starting player, for resting some other players. Xavi needs some rest. Who we gonna play now? Frankie de Jong probably get back from injury this weekend. We'll chuck him right into the starting lineup, and then he'll get re-injured. It's just, as I said this a few weeks ago. I'll say it again. Once Barcelona get one injury, it's just a cycle. They all just come tumbling through. Thank God Xavi pushed for having a big squad. I mean, before the international break, no injuries. We had no worries. We come after the international break. Memphis, Frankie, Christensen, Kessié, Araujo, Kounde, 6 key players out. It's freaking ridiculous. But you know what? The game is the game. Let's hope Kessié comes back fully recovered. Again, not too serious. He'll probably be out for just under 2 weeks. But again, definitely will miss, I think, in my opinion, the Celta Vigo match this weekend. And also the big Inter Milan match next week. Now, the final topic that I want to discuss before I end off this video is I want to discuss the work of Mateu Alemany at Barcelona over the past year and a half since he's been appointed as the director of football. Renewal came out with a great insight about his work behind the scene, and I want to go through and cover it. It covers everything from his signings to conditions he's putting in contracts. It's absolutely brilliant. We have to go through it. Now, Renewal came out saying that when Alemany arrived at Barcelona, he had to look at the contract of the first team, and he was shocked. He inherited an enormous wage bill, and he was restricted by the contract previously signed by Bartomeu's director of boards. Besides the fixed fees, bonuses and participations were additional sources of income for players. Injuries, however, were not taken into account, with minimum threshold for participating bonuses. Should a player have been injured for a first game but missed the 9 due to injury, his participation record remained at 100%. The most flagrant case, of course, were the ones of Ousmane Dembele, Umtiti, and Coutinho. They suffered serious injuries and missed majorities of the season, but still got paid in full. However, when they were available, they did play, and this allowed them to be eligible to receive the bonuses, as they must meet the minimum threshold. With Alemany, the new contracts have been changed, of course. From now, injuries impact the participation score. For example, if a player now plays one game but misses one due to injury in the next 9, his participation score will be recorded as 10%, not 100% from Bartomeu's board. So what does that bring? It most likely will save Barcelona a lot of money by the end of the season. That also means now that when players are injured, they will not have to work much harder to meet the minimum percentage of participation score in order to be eligible for bonuses. Clause after clause, Mateu Alemany is redesigning a more suitable Barcelona when it comes to salary, and still a lot of work is awaiting him. So one of the key factors that Alemany has done so far is change the structure of the injury clauses in the player's contract. So originally, you can get injured for the entire season, you'll still get paid in full, but with Mateu Alemany, that's not the case. If you get injured for a certain amount of time, you have to earn your way back up to receive your bonuses. If not, if you just fake injuries, get injured on purpose, take a long time to come back, it will affect your revenue, which of course, fantastic work from Mateu Alemany, but still a lot of work for him to be done. One of them mainly being, of course, the salary of the captains. Of course, we talked about Pique and Jordi Alba a little bit earlier, but Sport have come out saying that Barcelona aim to lower the wage bill from the current 610 million euros to 420 to 450. They hope that most, if not all, of the captains will not continue next season. Now, theoretically, if all 4 of them leave, the club will save a buckload of money, and that's the reality. I think now we're seeing, look, they're not playing too well, they're on the bench the majority of the time, and also they're earning a lot. So I think in the end, we will see some captains leave. The question is right now, in my opinion, is it going to be all 4? I think we're seeing a minimum of 2. The question is, will 2 other leaves? The question is, will 2 other leave on top of that? Again, Coutronne came out saying that Barcelona have decided that Jordi Alba and Pique will not stay next season. The club plans on their departure in 2023, possibly even in the January transfer window. The decision is now final. Keep your eyes on deadline day. Of course, Barcelona perform some miracle every single time. Would I be shocked if one of them left on deadline day in January? Yes, I would, to be honest. Maybe not with Jordi Alba too much, because of course we do have 2 other fullbacks, but with Pique, I can't see it happening. I think Pique would honestly rather retire than go to another club. Jordi Alba, I think, still wants to play, of course. And also, Barcelona still owe a lot of money to other transfers in the past. Relevo came out saying that Barcelona's financial report reveals pending payments to club for past operation. They are as follow: 52 million euros for Varane, which means when we signed him a year ago, of course we're coming up to a year, December, I think 20th, we signed Ferran Torres. From December 20th, 2021 until today, Thursday, October 6th, 2022, Barcelona have only paid 3 million euros for Varane. You think he's a flop now? Not in my opinion. We owe a total of 42 million euros to Ajax for De Jong and Des. I think it's 32 million we still owe for De Jong, then 10 million for Des. We still owe Juventus 36 million euros for Pjanic. We still owe Liverpool 14 million euros for Coutinho, and we still owe Gremio 7.5 million euros for Artur. So when you think about, transfers like Zubimendi, Neves, blah blah blah, look at all this money we still owe. And that's why I believe that Barcelona sold Antoine Griezmann for such a cheap price, because they still are looking for a lot of money. And also, of course, renewals will be a big factor. We talked about that. Currently, there are 7 players who are out of contract with Barcelona in 2023. Busquets, Memphis, Roberto, Alonso, Bellerin, Inaki Pena, and Arnau Tenas. Arnau Tenas theoretically does not really count. We have the option to extend his contract for 2 more years. So theoretically 6. We know that Bellerin and Alonso were kind of promised renewals. So theoretically, you have 4, Inaki Pena, Roberto, Memphis, and Busquets, 2 of them being captains. Going back to my theory there. So again, another thing that for Mateu Alemany to keep a lookout for. But of course, there is revenue coming in, sponsors, new stadium, all that sort of stuff. I'm speaking on the new stadium. Actually, the club are going to be relying heavily on the income of the ticket sales from the Camp Nou this season. Candacer came out saying that Barcelona estimates that they can earn around 200 million euros from the Camp Nou this season. It would be a 53% increase from last season. So far, the average attendance for the match has been around 80,000 people, which of course is ridiculous. If we can earn this money from the Camp Nou, again, huge boost for renewals, for signings, for paying off debt, paying off Espai Barca, paying off player operations. So the more money we bring in, of course, is the better. And again, the Spotify Camp Nou will generate a lot of money right now, but when we move to the Mohoke Stadium, the Olympic Stadium in the next season, we will get more challenges, and then when Espai Barca is fully done and built, we earn a lot of money through that. But again, that has to be restructured. So again, the board have been doing a fantastic job since they came in. I think not last year, the year before, in 2020, in 2021 or. No, they came last summer, man. Time is flying by so fast, it's unbelievable. Laporta's only been in a job for around a year and a half, and he's done absolutely incredibly. And I firmly believe that Laporta's best decision in his 1.5 years so far as the president of Barcelona was appointing Mateu Alemany as the director of football. Without that, I think we would have been in a way worse situations compared to Laporta and Alemany for bringing Barcelona, making them, somewhat healthy, but still a lot of work to be done. So that was my reaction to the Barcelona news over the past week or so. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like, and of course leave me your thoughts down below in the comments on everything we discussed. But the main thing I want to know first, of course, is on the return of Lionel Messi. You think it'll happen or not? Secondly, on those transfer targets for the summer, who would you prioritize? Zubimendi, Gaya, Neves, even maybe Dalot, or maybe another player. Thirdly, your thoughts on Barcelona selling Antoine Griezmann for around 20 million euros. And lastly, also your thoughts on those contract renewals. Who would you prioritize? Is there a player you wouldn't renew there? Is there a player that you would be desperate to renew? Let me know down below. And of course, make sure you guys subscribe down below as well if you haven't already. And I'll see you guys next time on the channel. Take care and Forza Barca.
Yeah.